It's quite the find. Hello friends, and welcome back to Crow's Thrifty Finds. My name is Melanie. So for this week's episode, I am going to be discussing plush. I had done a couple of other videos on plush, and I find that people seem to like them, so I'm going to do another one. So today we're going to talk about 13 plush that sell for very big prices on eBay. Many are in the hundreds, and even some that go in the low thousands. So these are definitely plushes that you want to be on the lookout for. These are bolo plush. So let's get into it. Number one, Yum Yums. These were popular in the 90s. And I don't know how popular, but I know I had one. I had the poodle. And some of the more regular, common versions of these don't go for super high amounts, but if you find a new one, it's good money. If you find a rare one, as you can see, they can sell between $150 and $200. So it's important to familiarize with what they look like. They're kind of sparkly. I don't know if they're still scented at this point, since it's many, many years since these came out, but they did used to smell really nice. So if they smell, that's probably a plus, as long as it's a good smell. So that's Yum Yums, number one. Number two, this is more of a brand just to be on the lookout for. I've discussed other valuable brands, like Stife, for example, but I have not discussed Rushton yet. Rushton is a company that's been around a long time. These plush date back to the 50s. And some of them, if I am to be totally honest, they're a little creepy looking, I think, but that's just my opinion. And if yours is different, that's just fine too. But to me, they look a little creepy. But anyways, you got to look for these rubber faces. They sell in the hundreds. So if you see, stuffed animals that look this way, definitely worth a Google Lens search. See if they're valuable. But if they're Rushton brand, there's a very good chance that they are, because there's just a lot of Rushton plush that are valuable. Number three, I have one right next to me. This is the only plush on the list that I own. Grateful Dead bears. I've talked about the Grateful Dead many times because there's a lot of Grateful Dead stuff that is worth picking up and selling on eBay. And these Grateful Dead bears are no exception. They come in different sizes. There's smaller ones that were beanies that do well in lots. And then there's these bigger ones that kind of go in a range of prices, but the more valuable ones, can go in the low 100s, for example. So it's funny because I've mentioned before that I don't listen to the Grateful Dead. I know about them, but for some reason I have one of these plush because I don't know, I think they're really cute and I liked the little Jamaican look that he had. So I picked him up forever ago, even though I don't listen to the music. Maybe that made me a poser in the 90s. I don't know. But look how cute he is. And I still, have treasured him all these years. So he sits on a shelf in my bedroom. But yeah, they're jointed. Very good quality. A company called Stephen Smith is the one that makes them. These particular jointed bears. But Liquid Blue is kind of the company that puts out the Grateful Dead stuff, t-shirts, plush, but this bear was actually made by Stephen Smith. So yes, these are good pickups for sure. Number four, who here remembers Thundercats? I know I did. I wasn't a huge Thundercats fan, but I definitely remember the show. I know it was cool. And there was a character. He was kind of like the sidekick, if I remember correctly. This cat-looking thing. It was red. His name is Snarf. Anyway, which is great. It's a great name. And Snarf plushes sell great on eBay. If you see a Snarf plush, pick it up, because these sell between $100 and $200 used, and $550 they've even sold for new, as you can see. So it is a good plush to pick up. So look for Snarf. Number 5, something I owned as a child, and maybe some of you did as well. These are Wuzzles. Wuzzles were these plush that were 2 different animals combined into one. Like there's Ellaroo, that's an elephant mixed in with a kangaroo. There's Bumbleion, that's a lion and a bumblebee mixed together. So there are all these, animals that are mixed. And the common ones don't sell for a lot. I mean, if you get one for $25 at a garage sale, I'd still say pick it up. You can make 15, 20 bucks. But if you want to make some good money, you got to find the rare ones. But they are out there. And these rare ones sell in the hundreds. So you want to familiarize yourself with what these Wuzzles look like. And if you see some vintage looking plush that look like they're 2 animals in one, could be a Wuzzle. So Wuzzles. Number 6, Ninja Turtles. So this is a character specifically from Ninja Turtles. I just happened to notice this listing, this sold listing randomly, but not a character you see plush for, too much, but they're out there. Krang, there was a Krang plush, and as you can see, it sold for almost $200. I don't know how hard it would be to find it, but I'm putting it out there because you never know. You could see it. Just because it's rare doesn't mean you won't find one. So keep your eyes open for Krang. Next, we're going to talk about a general brand of plush. So much like Rushton, there's also Douglas. Douglas has very high quality plush. Somebody actually commented on my previous plush video mentioning Douglas in general, and they are absolutely correct. Douglas plush are very good, and Douglas makes a wide variety of plush, and the more expensive ones, like this big giant Dalmatian, can be sold for just over $1,000. So yeah, look out for that for sure. If you see a big Dalmatian at a garage sale that somebody is desperate to get out of their house, you want to check the tags and see if it's Douglas. Douglas also made a Lion King line, and those are your spendiest Disney plush. A lot of the times are Douglas plush. So you want to look out for Douglas Lion King plush as well. They're really, really well made, just very nice. And there's a few different varieties of Lion King plush. There's Little Simba, Big Simba. So yeah, look out for Lion King Douglas plush amongst all the other Douglas plush, because if it's Douglas, it's very likely that it's worth picking up as long as you're getting a good deal on it. Next, we have Paw Patrol. Now, I will say that Paw Patrol is mass produced in a lot of ways. And when it comes to valuable Paw Patrol plush, we're looking at Build-A-Bear Paw Patrol, but not just all the Paw Patrols. And of course, it figures that my kids, they're starting to get out of the Paw Patrol phase now, and maybe they'd let me sell their plush on eBay, but the Build-A-Bear ones that we have are the more common ones. But because they're the more common characters the kids like the best. However, for those kids that, either had to have all of the Paw Patrol from Build-A-Bear, or they just like the lesser characters, not so main characters. It's not lesser, that doesn't sound nice, but you know what I mean. But Rocky and Zuma. So Rocky is the gray dog with the green vest. He's the recycling dog. He's valuable for sure. And Zuma is the brown, like chocolate lab looking dog that has the orange vest. So Rocky and Zuma both, they can sell in the $200 range if you're fortunate enough to find the Build-A-Bears with those two characters. And of course, voice box, would up the value if they talk, because you can choose to have the voice box in there. Obviously, you want as many accessories as possible. And even if they're not stuffed, they're still valuable, as you can see. So they don't even need to have the stuffing in them. Although it's strange to me to have Build-A-Bear plush in your possession that don't have stuffing in them at all. So that's, I don't know how or why people have those, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Paw Patrol plush, as far as the valuable ones, are the Build-A-Bear plush, Rocky, Sumo. Next, another 90s plush. Some of you may remember these, some of you may not. Kittens. These actually kind of, to me, had a sort of an ahead of their time look. Like, there's a lot of plush nowadays that actually look kind of similar to these. They kind of have like exaggerated features, and you could look at this and think that they're newer than they are, but they're from the 90s, and these are valuable to find. Should you find one, you can sell it. And these are ones that are previously owned, not new in box, between $130 and $150. And they're not big. They're like maybe about that big. Not big at all. So if you see little kittens like that, worth looking up. Number 10, Snuggle Bears. I happened to see one of these at a garage sale last summer, and it was majorly overpriced. And when I saw the price, I asked myself, is this something valuable that I'm not aware of? And that's the reason why they marked it so high. And yes, they can be. So Snuggle, the dryer sheet company, their mascot, the Snuggle Bear, he's very cute. Some of the plush can sell for $70 used. And that one that I saw that was priced way too high at the garage sale was one of those $70 ones. So they were pricing what they believed was fair market value, but I bet nobody bought it. But yeah, on eBay, you can sell them for that. So there was no profit for me to make off of it. But if you're a collector and you just wanted a Snuggle Bear, that's what you're paying. Number 11. I believe this plush is connected with a video game, perhaps. Could be Roblox. I don't know. But I just happened to randomly see these Hippo Melon green plush that sell for $1,000. Multiple sellers. At first I was like, oh, is this a money laundering thing? But no, I'm pretty sure these plush are just rare and valuable. And maybe they're newish, so that the odds of finding one at this point may not be the greatest, but something to file in your memory bank, because you never know. At some point, they could wind up at a garage sale. So yeah, just for the sheer rarity and value, I wanted to include it in the list, even though it might be hard to get one of these cheap, at this point, since they kind of are priding themselves on these being, a limited release and for collectors. So just kind of keep your eyes open for them. And if you make a list and you just have this ongoing list of bolos, it's still worth putting on there and holding on to over the next few years. Number 12. Oh, I do have one of these too. I forgot about that. He's upstairs. Domo. Domo is, I guess you could consider Domo anime. Somebody could correct me if they know better, but it comes from Japan, and Domo has his own little show in between television shows in Japan, is my understanding. He's a very cute monster. Not quite as popular as he was maybe like 10 years ago, but there's many rare Domo plush that are worth in the low 100s if they're rare enough. I don't have any of the rare ones. I have your more run-of-the-mill common Domos, but Domo is super cute. And, oh, you know what? I actually have something over here that's Domo on my shelf. Or maybe not anymore. Where did he go? Oh well. Maybe not. I had these little Domo like blind bag figures. And if you lot those up, you can sell those too on eBay. So if you see like little plastic Domos, if you see them for like a quarter at a garage sale, you can make a little bit of money on those too. So that's just an extra tip. I don't know where mine went. I don't know. Sometimes things disappear and it's because the kids take them because they look like fun. So I think that's what happened here because it's not where it was before on my shelf. But Domo's really cute. And I would recommend if you see a Domo plush at a garage sale, definitely worth looking up. If they're cheap and you want to even just make like $15, you could pick them up too. But yeah, the rare ones, low 100s. So if you see that monster, that cute fuzzy monster, look them up. Next, number 13, we have Care Bears. I want to emphasize something with the Care Bears though, a misconception that I personally had, and I just want to let you all know about it as well. Vintage Care Bears, if they're common, they're not worth much of anything. I think it was another one of those mass-produced kind of things where they're just not, the collector market, it just isn't there. I've sold some Care Bear cousins that were more rare, made a little bit of money, but even that wasn't particularly, anything to brag about. It wasn't that great. So there are some rare ones out there though, that said. So you still want to, if you can't identify that as a common Care Bear real quick, if it's kind of looks, exotic to you, or if you just don't know in general, it's still worth looking up because there are some rare Care Bears that sell for $300. So I don't want to discourage people from looking them up, but I just want to let you know that the majority of the Care Bears are not worth picking up. You just need to do your research. You need to find the Care Bears that are rare and valuable, and then you'll make some money. But the vast majority of them are not. But if you can sell one for $300, it's still worth looking up your Care Bears. So that completes the list, and I would encourage you all to like or subscribe if you haven't yet. I make new content every week. And until next week, my name is Melanie with Crow's Thrifty Finds. I'll see you next time.